It is exactly 32 degrees as another day breaks at the Eagle. We'll look at the other side of the yard here in a little minute. There is a bunch of turkeys that have gathered. They're just now flying down out of the trees. Just now gathering over across the road and acting like they're heading this way. Not seeing very many of them there. You can see that there's a bunch that looks like, just from the size of them and the dark color, it looks like that's that bunch of gobblers. Might not be, because it's just barely daylight. They're headed this way, so we might get a little bit better look at them. I am zoomed out there a ways to get them right there with my iPhone. I like to have one of those brand new iPhones, but you know me, I buy these things on the installment plan from AT&T. When you do that, they make you wait your 36 months or 30 months or whatever. Tried to pay cash for this last one. They wouldn't let me do it. Now that's hens, looks like. I'm sorry about that, guys. It was just dark out there. I think that is all hens, just big old birds. More and more birds coming down all the time. More and more birds hitting the ground all the time. They're roosting over on the other side of the road, back in the draw in the hollow to the right, I believe, back to the east. I believe. I've been back there a lot. They get big, giant roost trees, and they love it back there. They love it back there. They're coming up closer all the time, and they're gaining gaining troops all the time. Gaining troops all the time. This appears to be all hens. There might be a jake or two in there, I don't know, but I think it's all hens. It's really all I'm seeing. It gets a little bit lighter. It's a lighter shade of pale. Oh, lighter shade of pale. For those of you that were alive back in the 60s, you definitely remember that song. More birds hitting the ground. They're roosting not too far over there, looks like. Seemed like I saw one fly down, a little glimpse of one flying down there. Coming into that Texas sun. Oh, yeah, I saw that bird fly down. Yeah, they're flying down from not very far away over there. They may be on this side of the road, they look like. See that bird fly down there? Now, that's something even a lot of turkey hunters don't see too awful much. You have to be close to a roost area to see fly downs, which is where turkey hunters like to get, is really close to a roost area. You actually don't kill a lot of birds on the fly down when you're turkey hunting. You have to be positioned just right. Normally, they don't fly down the same direction every morning. That's a crow. That might have been a crow we saw fly down. That's a crow out there with the turkeys. That might be a gobbler right there. It is a gobbler right there, I believe. The hens will chase each other, too, fighting for food. They're going to come up here in the yard. Looky there. They're coming on up here in the yard. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Now, they're very close and can hear me, so I'm going to talk a little bit lower. Even though I'm inside, their hearing is so good that they can hear me. But look at all of them right there. Hopefully, they'll go around and feed in the front yard as well. We see them in the lake. This is a rare sight. Even turkey hunters don't really see sights like this too often. I've turkey hunted a lot over the last, I guess I started hunting turkeys when I was in my mid-20s or something. Eufaula, Alabama is where I started. A world champion turkey hunter took me hunting in my first turkey hunt, and we killed a big bird that morning. World champion caller took me hunting. We killed a bird that first day. He ruined me. I'm telling you. He was absolutely a fantastic guy. An incredible caller. 10 crow out there left behind. The turkeys, they've all gone around toward the front. Well, let's look at them over there. Here we go. They are staying in the woods. They're not headed toward the front yard. They're going around the house, staying in the woods, eating acorns, I suppose. I hope they go out in the front yard. I've been told by several of you, I don't know if you just knew it or you Google it up, but I appreciate it, that mature turkey, which all of these are this time of the year, everything matures pretty quickly in the turkey world. A mature turkey will eat about 200 ticks per day. Now that's a lot of ticks. You will start multiplying that right there. What that means, if a lot of these turkeys stay around close, now a lot of them will not. A lot of them will not even stay on our property. They'll go over to our neighbor's property. They will move around a lot. They don't necessarily stay in the same places in the springtime. They must hear me talking. Well, they're running toward me, so they must have thought somebody found a few bugs. Not too many bugs to be found when it's this cold, I wouldn't think. But they do a lot of scratching, looking. We have neighbors all around us that have cattle, and a lot of bugs get under the cow patties. And underneath those cow patties, these turkeys will turn them over, the dried cow patties, turn them over, catch the bugs that's underneath the cow patties. That's right. They're pretty smart. So they do that a lot. So they hang around where there's a lot of cows. So a lot of these will go over to my neighbor's land. They're just roosting here because they've got such a great roost place. Sanctuary, got a great place to nest with not many critters. That's why we have so many birds. A beautiful sight early this morning anyway. Could have happened yesterday. But also, I was sick and spent the majority of the day in bed, to be honest with you. I don't spend much time in bed. But yesterday, every time I got up and tried to get after it, I couldn't get after it much. The last 2 days have been a definite struggle. Much better, much better. This right here make you well, just looking at this. Y'all feeling any better this morning? This evening, whenever? Oh, I love it. There is a little bunch of turkeys right out there that I believe are pretty much all gobblers. I think that they pretty much are. Might be a hen or two in there, but I think those are jakes and gobblers, totally. They do separate by sex in the wintertime. Now they'll be around with the hens. I saw 6 or 7 there a minute ago. I guess they're all gone down below the hill pretty much. That's young gobblers right there, I believe. No, this could be hens. No, those are young gobblers. What I'd seen a minute ago, and a lot of them went below the hill, this one's got a longer beard. No. There was 7 or 8 or 9 birds there. And they're right on the crest of a little hill, so a lot of them have gone down below that hill. Mr. Longbeard up there. But that little bunch, you can see them, another turkey with a beard. They kind of all got down in that little area right there, but that's a little bunch right there. There's 7 or 8 or 9 birds, all gobblers. Probably some of those is trailing back behind. Could be some of the hens, but that's just a little wad of gobblers. There's their beards down there. You can see the backs of them. Always pretty to look at turkeys in the woods. Evening time. Part of the lights have already come on the dock. I counted the turkeys as they come out of the woods into the front yard, and there's 30. That's right, 30. There's a little Buddy down there. Buddy's got an injured back, or a back hip, I'd say. I noticed I was real close to him today, and he had a back hip that looked injured, walking a little bit funny, but he seems to be doing fine. But that is a bunch of turkeys, mostly hens. It's hens and then their babies. And their babies, of course, are just about as big as they are. And some of those babies are jakes. You can see the bigger ones with the red head, the darker ones, those are all jakes. They have very small little beards, but they do have beards. And I counted them as they came through the woods in between a couple, 2 or 3 trees. And I counted 30. Some of those turkeys are down by the house, underneath and around closer to the house, and so I can't really quite see them. But you can see that it's just a tremendous amount of wild turkeys. It just shows you what proper management can do to a turkey population. Now, can the state manage plots of land 2,000 acres? I don't know. Individuals certainly can manage their own little plot of land, whether it's 5 acres or 5,000 acres. They can manage it if they will. And if they will, they're going to have a lot more turkeys. One of the critical things is getting rid of the things that destroy turkeys' nest, like raccoons and skunks and possums. Critters, coyotes, bobcats, mountain lions, critters of all kinds thrive on turkeys, and quite a few of them will catch turkeys, both babies and adult turkeys. And if you can limit the predators, your turkey population will grow, and it can grow immensely in a short period of time. But if we allow the nest to be destroyed by non-management, which is what some wildlife departments do, they study things and they don't do anything. It's kind of like a lot of government simply talking about a problem and yet doing the same thing year after year after year after year and wondering why the problem is not being solved and why the agency or organization is still failing. We have a lot of that in almost every government agency there is, particularly federal government. States have do a little bit more about things because they have to. They can't print money. We can't print money here in Oklahoma like they can in Washington. So we have to operate within our means. Since our current governor became governor, he turned a deficit into a $2 billion surplus, and now he's wanting to cut taxes since we have a surplus. Why are we still charging the same amount of taxes? So, anyway, it shows that when you take action as opposed to talk about it, what can happen with wild turkey populations. And this is just one little ranch in southern Oklahoma. Not a particularly huge bunch of turkeys in this yard this morning, but I've already, as it was beginning to get daylight, I've already seen probably 30, I don't know, 25 or 30, 20 or 30, I don't know, I didn't count, go around the end of the building number 4 out there where the vehicles are. They both need to be washed today. It's supposed to get to 59 or 60 degrees. It was 29 earlier. I just looked, it was 27, I believe. But a pretty good little bunch there. I see the gobblers out there trying to strut a little bit. I don't know how many birds are out there now. See 3, 7, 8, some behind the tree, 9, 10, 11, 12. And 3 or 4 or 5 over there. Probably 15 or 18 birds out there. A lot of them behind the trees. That feeder I don't think has gone off yet. I think I'll wait and let that big gobbler strut. That is so cool. I turkey hunt. Well, I did turkey hunt a lot before Chris got sick. Now I don't really take off the time to go turkey hunting. I'm taking care of her, but it's a beauty right there. Just a young bird. A little beard sticking out front. A bunch of girls. Won't be long. Get through December, January, February, and March. End of February and March, they'll start rutting real heavily. The boys are just practicing right now. Oh, me. Crows showing up to try to steal some South Fresh deer feed. I guess we need to say deer and turkey feed, don't we? That looks like the only female albino that we have left. Beautiful deer. Hopefully she'll give us a couple more little albinos here in a few months. We could keep her alive. It's a challenging year. Another little group of turkeys on this side of the house. I've actually seen 3 groups today. This morning, as I've wandered around from window to window. Below 30 degrees out there. Definitely don't want to be wandering around outside naked. We've had a beautiful morning. Look at these gobblers right here close by. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 gobblers. There's a big gobbler out there. This bunch of birds just came in. Actually, several gobblers. Look at those. Look at all those gobblers. There's probably, this bunch is almost all gobblers. These are all gobblers. Oh my goodness, how many are there? I count from the back. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 3, 6, 7 right there. And there's already 4 or 5 over there. Maybe like a dozen gobblers, pretty much all jakes. These are boys that have been born this year. You can see that that boy there has no beard. You look at them up close, you can see some small beards if you get in there real tight to them, just like I'm doing right here. You see the little small beard sticking out. They've got a red head, and they're much blacker. That one has no beards. Many of these right over here have just a little tiny beard starting. There's about a dozen gobblers right here. Oh, we're gonna hear a lot of gobbling this spring. These guys will all be gobbling like crazy. Now these jakes will run together through a lot of the spring. You can see that some of them don't really have anything at all sticking out, but those are not hens, those are gobblers. 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 right here. You can see they're getting a little excited there. They'll fight each other. They'll fight each other and they'll carry on. Those are all young gobblers born this year. Just give you the success of our predator control program.